Hello, Precise Pilates people. Welcome to your week 6 online. We're going to be doing some dumbbell-based movements in this class today. So I'm going to be using a pair of hand weights. I would recommend no more than 2 kilos for this. You don't have to use hand weights. You could use a pair of tinned cans from your pantry or your cupboard. You could use a pair of water bottles, anything that you can hold in your hand that are equally weighted. We're going to be adding these into our familiar mat work practice, so you don't have to use the weights if you don't want to. And this class is pretty well focused on establishing a strong upper body. So standing upright, you want to make sure you're settled into your standing posture. Your feet are hip width, the knees are soft. Float the sternum. Think about lengthening the shoulders down away from the earlobes, and take the time to switch on the T-zone. Now we'll begin with the hand weights in each palm. Palms are facing towards your thighs. Take a nice soft breath in, and then on the exhale, focus on the shoulder blade gliding down as you float the palms up to shoulder height. The ribs are staying softly drawn over the hip bones. Inhale, the arms come back down. You really want to keep engaged through a neutral spine. We exhale to lift the arms into a half range of arm prep, and we inhale to lower. The shoulders are drawn down, you're lengthening your neck. Exhale and inhale. Good, so we're doing a half range arm prep motion or a frontal raise. We're really working on establishing a strong posterior deltoid, that's the shoulder muscle at the back of the body, engagement, as well as focusing on using the T-zone to keep us in a neutral spine. Good. Exhale and inhale. We're going to go for 3 more. Exhale, float the arms. Keep a soft bend in the elbow, shoulders down. Inhale to lower. You're not swinging through the pelvis or the rib cage. You'll see from my standing side-on posture, I'm keeping myself as neutral as possible with the T-zone on. Make this your last one. Exhale, float the arms to shoulder height. Inhale, lower. Let's take it to the full range of arm prep. So exhale, float the arms on up. Now don't stop at chest height. Start to lift the arm directly in line with the shoulders or thereabout. The ribs are drawing in and down towards the hip bones. Inhale, arms come back down towards your thighs. Again, we exhale, lift. We could stop at shoulder height or we could lift directly above. Inhale, arms come down. Be cautious that you're not straining and pushing your neck forwards. You're keeping that nice neutral spine, shoulders lengthening down your back, ribs are drawing towards hips on that exhale as we float the arms on up and inhale to lower. Now, as you notice, I'm not going beyond the range of my shoulder, so I'm not going into that zone where I'm really extending the arm back and the weight is traveling behind me and straining across my pec muscle or my shoulders and scapular stability muscles, which are the internal shoulder joint. I'm really keeping the range and I'm focusing on the neutral spine, the ribs drawing to hips and the T-zone staying on. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Arms come back down to the thighs, relax the shoulders. Beautiful. From this position, we'll do some squats. You could alternate this for your calf raise if you're not going into that squat position. You're keeping the feet hip width. The elbows are now planted in your waist. Your palms are facing up. We're going to softly push the buttocks back, drawing the tailbone back and down. We're going to bend through the knees and bicep curl our fist towards our shoulder. Inhale here and exhale, push off strong. Good. Come down into your squat. Exhale, inhale and exhale, push off. Notice that you want to keep the tailbone drawing softly downwards. Try not to arch through the lower back. Try to keep the T-zone working throughout. If you need to, at the top where you come to standing tall, you could add a small amount of our pelvic floor engagement if you feel like you need that as your focus. So we're going to exhale, push the bum back and down, softly bending through the knees, bicep curl the fists. Inhale and exhale, push off, utilizing the legs and the core muscles to stand upright as we shoot the fist to the side of the thigh. Good, keep the shoulders drawn down, think about that nice long neck. 2 more. Exhale and inhale. One more. Come upright, stand tall. Beautiful. From this point, we're going into our stop signs. You can place the weights aside if it's aggravating the shoulder. Try to keep the knees soft. Switch onto that T-zone once more. Now the shoulders are staying down as we float the palms on up to face height. You'll notice that I don't have a strong wraparound grip in this position, but you may want to grip your hand weights quite tightly. Shoulders are drawn softly down, and we're thinking about keeping the neutral spine working. On the exhale, we're going to softly glide the shoulder blades down the back, elbows to the waist. You want to feel your mid-deep center back connection or your middle fiber of trapezius. Inhale, hands to face height. Good. As we exhale, we're gliding the shoulder blades down into the waistline beneath the ribs and the hips. Elbows also glide down and inhale to face height. So adding the hand weights into this exercise in standing, you really need to focus on utilizing the T-zone and not swaying forwards and back through the back, the pelvis, or the shoulder itself. I'm really working hard to establish my T-zone connection, and my focus is my trapezius in that deep mid-center back connection, feeling the drawdown of the shoulders. Good. I'm making sure there's no added tension in my neck. As I float my hands up, my shoulders are not shrugging upwards. In fact, I'm just allowing them to float back on up. 3 more. Good, 2. And on your last one, hold the downward phase of the drawdown of your scapula into that waistline. You can bring your hand weights onto your chest if you'd like, and begin to soften the knees a little bit more. Keep the T-zone working. Now we're going to exhale to rotate the chest away from the hip bones into a small range of our spine twist. Shoulders down. Inhale, come back to center with the rib cage over the hip bones. Exhale to spine twist. Good. Inhale to center. If you feel like you want to keep the hand weights to chest, by all means, have that small range of your spine twist here. Otherwise, with the shoulders drawn down, the elbows settle into the waist. Reach the arms out to the side, elbows drawing down. From this point, keeping the hip bones facing forwards, exhale, spine twist, rotating underneath the waistline from rib to hip, and inhale, come back to center, shoulders down. Exhale, spine twist, and inhale to center. I'm holding onto your hip bones and your pelvis. So as you rotate, your pelvis should not be moving. Your feet should stay on the ground, your knees fixed in that forward soft position. Exhale, spine twist, and inhale to center. Some of you may find that you want to elongate your arms, shoulders want to stay down. Exhale, spine twist, and inhale to center. Good. Shoulders down in the center. Exhale and inhale. Let's go for 3 more on each side. I do want you to make sure that you're staying tall in that neutral spine without aggravating that lumbar spine arch. We don't want the pelvis to be pushed and tipped forwards. We're using the T-zone engagement to keep us in neutral. Good. 1 more each side. Can you feel your shoulder blades fatiguing? Can you feel that mid-deep center back getting a little bit more tired? Return to center, relax the arms down by your side, roll the shoulders and have that little break. Good, so you're already starting to establish that your upper back is going to work pretty hard today with these hand weights. Excellent. We're going to go into a split stance position, 1 foot forwards and 1 foot back. The feet are more or less still at hip width. They are on 2 separate train tracks. Try not to come onto a balance beam. Keep them in that hip width stance. Now I've got pretty good ankle mobility, so my back leg wants to stay straight. You may bend it and you may even come onto the ball of the foot. I'm going to bend the front knee and push it forwards, and I want to make sure I'm not really going over any strong alignment through that front knee, so I'm going to walk my foot forwards so my leg more or less stays in 90. From this position, we're going to go into a little bit of rowing and a tricep move. Yep. So from this position, shoulders are back and down. We're going to make sure that we keep a nice neutral neck. So I want you to look directly ahead. Now you're going to switch on your T-zone if it's not yet working. From this position, we're actually going to go back into that frontal raise. Keep one hand by your waist, but think about elongating it down by your side. Now the back leg front arm is now going to lift on the exhale into that frontal raise. Good. Inhale, come back down to the front of the hip bone. Think about drawing the shoulder blade back. Don't let it rotate and curve forwards. We're going to exhale, come into a frontal raise, and inhale to lower. Now that's the first part of this movement. Exhale, frontal raise, shoulder drawing down and back. We don't want to arch forwards. Good. If you feel like the shoulder could take on a larger range of motion, as we exhale to float the arm on up, we can now think about rotating the palm out to the side and squeezing the dumbbell down towards the thigh, coming into more or less a swimming or an arm prep, breaststroke prep motion. Exhale, dumbbell floats on up to shoulder height. From this position, we can rotate the palm out and squeeze the palm down, squeezing the elbow in, the armpit muscle in. Good. Exhale, rotate and push down. To make this movement to make this greater on your shoulder and back, you could have a little hip hinge forwards. So here now I'm working hard to keep my hip hinge without exacerbating my lumbar spine. I'm exhaling to float the arm on up, rotating the palm out to the side and squeezing the armpit, the elbow, the dumbbell towards my thigh. Rotate and push down. Good. You could even exacerbate that rotation out if the shoulder feels comfortable. Rotate. Up. Let's do 2. And 1. Rotate. Beautiful. From this position, now think about drawing the shoulder blade back, bend the front knee a little bit more, and again, you might need to bend the back knee, lift onto the ball of the foot. If not, push the heel down. Keeping the shoulders drawn back and down, start to draw your elbow into your side, squeezing the bicep in towards your rib cage. Good. Lengthen the arm. Keep the shoulder blade drawn back. Exhale and inhale. Wonderful. Good. Exhale and inhale. Good. Let's go for 4. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Good. 2 more. Exhale. Shoulder blade draws back, so don't round forwards. Keep your tailbone drawn down. Try to think about that weight being loaded through the front, quadricep and knee. 1 more. Beautiful, and lower. Excellent. Let's slide the feet in and change sides. So I'm going to show you from this position now. Our front foot forwards, 1 leg back. Again, if you need to, if you cannot straighten the back leg, bend the knee, come onto the ball of the foot. It's really important that your knee of your front leg is more or less at 90. It may just slightly go over 90 degrees, but don't have a really strong front lunge position. You don't want to really strain your groin or your knee. From this position, the front leg rests the dumbbell down to the side of the thigh. I'm going to make sure shoulders are back and down. I'm looking directly ahead. For those of you that want to add the hip hinge, you can. Think about rotating the palm towards your thigh, the shoulder blade drawing back. We start with that upright lateral or frontal raise. We exhale to use the abdominals to lift to shoulder height. Inhale to lower. Exhale and inhale. And some of you may stay with this arm motion, just drawing the arm to shoulder height. Some of you may want a greater strength component. Sorry, my brain is all fuzzy today. And so you might want that hip hinge position. Take it into the breaststroke prep. We exhale to lift. We're rotating the palm out to the side. Your chest is staying over your front knee. We push down, squeezing the armpit, the elbow, the dumbbell towards our thigh. Try to stay in your standing balance. Exhale, rotate out, squeeze. Good. Remember, your hip hinge could be here. You're not exacerbating your lumbar spine curve. We're trying to really work into this really strong hip hinge pattern. It's not forwards flexion, it's quite different. And so we're not trying to arch out of a neutral spinal pattern. Good. Exhale, rotate out, squeeze. Good. Exhale. Let's do 2. And 1 more. Beautiful. Think about now drawing the elbow into your side. Lengthen the arm. Draw the shoulder blade back. Squeeze the elbow into the rib cage to row your dumbbell in. When you lengthen the arm on that inward breath, try not to round forwards. Keep drawing the shoulder blade down. Think about that nice strong T-zone connection, keeping you in your hip hinge pattern. This row position is something we're going to do again in 4-point kneeling in a moment. So I want you to get used to drawing the shoulder blade back, where there's not a greater force of gravity drawing it forwards. Last two, exhale and inhale. Last one. Good. Come back to standing, feet together. Excellent. From this position, come down into 4-point kneeling. You can place your dumbbells to the side. You can roll down gently, however you choose. I'm actually going to roll down, and I want to make sure that I take this opportunity to release any pressure through my back that I might have had at the beginning of my class. Come down to 4-point kneeling box and make sure your dumbbells are close at hand. Now we're going to go back to that rowing exercise. So hands are underneath the shoulders, shoulders are drawn down. You're lengthening your neck, knees are underneath your pelvic bones. Grab one dumbbell, place it in the center of your mat, switch onto that T-zone. Now you want to make sure that in your rowing exercise, again, your shoulder draws back away from the mat, not rounding forwards. We want shoulders to stay level. So I'm going to pick up the dumbbell, place the elbow into my waist, and it's here at this point I can draw the shoulder blade back, and I want you to think about keeping that drawn back position. You're going to lengthen your dumbbell down, and then exhale, draw in towards your waist, elbow pulling towards the back of the room. Inhale and exhale. Keep your chest aligned over your one remaining palm, and just get used to keeping the chest and back working. Try to think about your T-zone, keeping your body nice and strong in 4-point kneeling. For those of you that need to, you can come back up to standing to continue your rowing exercise. I don't want you to really think about rounding forwards, so if this is causing you to do this, get rid of your hand weight. For those of you that want to stick with this exercise, you can complete 20 reps. So because it's quite a lightweight, we can do more repetitions. For those of you that want to add on, you're going to draw your elbow into your waist, tuck it in nice and tight. Now keeping the elbow placed here, the chest over the mat, we're now going to go into tricep extension, pushing the back of our fist towards the sky. Keeping the elbow planted, inhale, we swing back into our row position. Exhale and inhale. You're really controlling this motion. You're working the back of the arm, the tricep group, and you're also still working in stability, the chest and back. The T-zone really strong. So I'm not swinging forwards and I'm not really rotating the chest out, quite the opposite. I want to keep myself aligned in 4-point kneeling box, and I really focus on the back of the arm, the tricep group. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Come back to the mat, place the dumbbell down. Place 2 hands onto the mat, pull your buttocks back towards your heels, or rest down on those bent forearms and have a little break. Good. We're going to repeat that on the opposite side. So I'm going to change sides to make sure that you can see what my back is doing. Come back to 4-point kneeling box when you're ready. Making sure shoulders are drawing down. We're working through the T-zone to support neutral spine. We're grabbing the dumbbell in the opposite arm. Think about planting the elbow into your waist first and drawing the shoulder blade back. Think about this placement of the scapula. Don't let it round forwards. Lengthen the arm towards the mat, and then exhale, row, elbow into the waist. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, pull the shoulder blade back as you row the elbow towards the back of the room. Good. Remember that we want to keep shoulders and chest aligned over our mat, so don't rotate out to the side. This is not rotation, this is you looking at holding 4-point kneeling box. Now, like I said, some of you will just stick with the rowing pattern, and you can have a little break whenever you need. You can work up to your 20 reps because it is a lightweight, so we can really work strongly into higher rep positioning here. For those of you that want to add tricep extension, squeeze the elbow into your side. Don't round the shoulder forwards, draw it back. Keeping the elbow planted on your exhale, we're going to punch the back of the fist to the sky, and then inhale, draw back into the row position. Exhale, and inhale, wonderful. Exhale, and inhale. Squeeze the elbow into your side so that it does not come away from the rib cage. Equally, we're not rotating out. We want to keep our chest aligned over the mat. Your shoulder is over your one remaining palm, but the shoulders are staying level. Don't scrunch the shoulders up to the earlobes. Think about you really focusing on the back of the arm group, your triceps. Final 3, exhale and inhale. 2 and 1. Good. Come back to the row, lengthen the arm, placing the dumbbell down. Have a little rest once more in your child's pose. Good. So a small hand weight can be quite a nice addition to your Pilates mat work. We are going to be looking at press up next, press up 1 or 2. 1 second, I have lost my screen. Beautiful. So we're going into press up. Move your dumbbell from your mat, place it to the side, we'll come back to that. Come back to 4-point kneeling box for level 1. Hands are underneath the shoulders, shoulders have drawn down. Now taking the time to switch on pelvic floor and T-zone, and I'm going to now take my hands as wide as my mat for level 1. Keeping the shoulders drawn down, the elbows drawing towards the back corners of my mat. Inhale, bring your nose down between your hands, bending at those elbows. Exhale, push off strong, extending the arms. Think about shoulders gliding down. Don't let your shoulders lift up into your ears. Inhale and exhale. Now for some of you, if you're feeling pretty fatigued after your tricep and your lat row that we've just done in 4-point kneeling, you could just stick with your level 1 for your 12 reps. If you want to take it up into level 2, you can walk your hands 1 or 2 paces forwards and now create the incline from shoulder, hip and knee, coming into your level 2, chest between your hands. Inhale the chest down, shoulders drawing back. Exhale, push off strong, utilizing those abdominals. Inhale, exhale. The tummy is lifting off the mat. Inhale down and exhale. Try not to round your upper back, try not to scrunch. Draw the shoulder blades down, keep that nice incline. Inhale and exhale. You can always come back to your level 1 if you need. Once you've done your 10 or 12 reps, if you're working, you can come back to your child's pose. Final 2 and 1. Good. Come back to your 4-point kneeling box, come back to child's pose, roll your wrists. Have a little break. There's one last exercise here, which will be glute-based, and is your swimming legs. We're going to keep the upper body fixed for this one. Now, for those of you that are having any wrist issues, you can actually use your hand weights as almost a little prop to come into this fist position. For some of you, weight bearing through the knuckles is not comfortable. So if you wrap your hands around your hand weights, if you're using them, and push them down into the mat, realigning shoulders over palms, they can create almost a little handle press, push-up press, so that you are not aggravating your wrists. Shoulders want to draw down, and if you're a hyperextender, turn your elbows out to the corner edges of your mat. Now for your swimming legs, we want T-zone switched on. You're thinking about that lovely neutral spine, so draw the shoulder blades down. Start to lengthen one leg behind you. Really think about squeezing your glute max, keep your hip bones level. Inhale, slide back in, change sides. Exhale and inhale. You can stay connected to the mat. Really focus on not arching through your lumbar spine, utilizing the T-zone muscle, that thick band of abdominals that comes wrapping around your lower back and across the front of your hip bones. For those of you that do want to float the foot from the mat, you will be doing so with a nice deep glute max contraction, hopefully not kicking your couch like I am, and you still want to maintain a neutral spine and keeping the T-zone level across your hip bones. So don't let your hip turn out to the side. Shoulders elongate down, don't create tension across that upper back and neck. Good. Utilize your glute max. For those of you that are lengthening the leg and squeezing your glute, could lift your leg roughly in line with your hip bone, providing you can keep that nice neutral spine. Don't arch through the lower back. Good, 2 more on each side. Shoulders down. Think about lengthening them down your back, keeping the neck nice and free. Last one each side. Good, glute max, squeeze. Come back to your box position. You can release your hand weights to the side and you can come down and have a little break. Good, we're going into lying on our side. Grab a pillow if you want it to place underneath the head or neck. We are going to go into clam 1, so we won't need the hand weights just yet. We are going to do a little bit of rotator cuff, so keep them close at hand. Calm down. So clam 1, we're moving back to looking at the glute max. We're now looking at glute medius as our main focus of the gluteals. Hand on the front hip bone, roll the front hip towards the edge of the mat. Keeping the hand in place here if you'd like. On your next exhale, we're going to push the top hip bone down, bringing the bottom waist from the mat. And you can check you've got a nice gap between your mat and your waist, or that between your rib and your hip, your obliques are working. Lengthen that top waistline by pushing it down. Now your legs begin in 45 degrees. Your hand could be on your hip or on the mat. We're going to start flattening these abdominals from the front of the pelvis, keeping the top hip bone forwards. Squeeze the heels, exhale, open, clam 1, and inhale to close. Squeeze the heels, exhale to open, and inhale to close. Now you're taking care not to rotate the top hip bone back. So I'm staying on my side, my top hip bone drawn towards the front edge of my mat line. And I'm working really hard to keep the bottom waist up, lengthening the top waist, pushing it down. Good. You can check your hand in your T-zone that your abdominals are on. Your hand could wander around to the back of your buttocks on your knicker line or on that crescent line of your buttocks. As you squeeze your heels, your glute med wants to switch on the top leg. And then you exhale to open and inhale to close. For those of you that are comfortable with this exercise, you can repeat this for 10 more reps after this one here. I'm moving into clam kick out. I'm going to squeeze my heels, exhale, open my clam, top hip bone stays forward. Lengthen the top leg at hip height, rotate it down from the thigh itself. Good, I'm going to bring the heels back together, top knee high. Squeeze my heels and close. Squeeze, exhale, open. Lengthen the leg, inhale, turn it down from the thigh. I'm going to bring the heels together, knee high, give them a squeeze, and then close. Exhale, open, squeezing heels. Inhale, lengthen, turn it down from the thigh. Exhale, soles together, knee is high, press those heels, and close. Good, 6 more. Squeeze, lengthen, turning it down from the hip. Exhale, soles together, knee high, inhale, close. Good, squeeze, exhale. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale, heels together. Inhale to close. Good, 4. Squeeze, lengthen. Good. Heels together, you want to make sure you press them and then you close. 2 more. You're working really strong in this clam kick out 1. Checking in with the bottom waist, please. Checking in the top hip bone push down. Lengthen that top waistline. Good. 1 more for luck. Squeeze, exhale, open. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale, heels together, knee high. Inhale, close, have a little break. Woo. Beautiful. Now we're going to take a resting position, but I still want you to utilize that nice, strong bottom waist, pushing the top hip bone down and lengthening the top waistline. Keep your top hip bone rolled forwards. Grab hold of one hand weight. Place your elbow into your waist. Draw the shoulder blade down from the earlobe. Now we're going to go into a little bit of a dumb waiter. My palm is facing towards my mat. I want to keep my elbow more or less at a 90-degree angle from shoulder and palm. I'm going to squeeze the elbow into the side and rotate the arm out, coming into a small external rotation. And I'm looking to feel that the arm bone is rotating in the arm socket itself. Squeezing the elbow into the side, rotating the top of our arm bone into the shoulder socket, coming into that small range of external rotation. Good, exhale. And inhale, still utilize the T-zone, the bottom waist connection, and still keep yourself working and accountable through that neutral spine. Squeeze, exhale, and inhale in. You're really looking for external rotation through the top shoulder joint. So we're feeling this quite internal of the shoulder, and as such, don't lift the shoulder up towards your earlobe. Think about your rotator cuff conditioning. Let's go for 3, 2. Keep the shoulder drawn down, don't aggravate the neck, rest the head on the pillow. Good, rest the arm weight down and have a little break. You are really strongly conditioning the top shoulder joint, and so don't aggravate it by placing stress and tension, inducing through that cervical spine, which will lift the shoulder up, okay? Beautiful. From that position, we're going to go into a bicycle leg. We're going to keep the bottom leg bent at 45. I'm going to shuffle myself higher away from my couch. You want to use your bottom waist. So push your top hip bone down, lengthen the top waistline, lift the bottom waist. Start to draw the top hip forwards and flatten those abdominals. Bottom leg stays bent, the top leg wants to elongate. Your tummy is flattening from hip bone to hip bone. Your leg is at hip height. Point your toes. We're going to bring the knee in towards the chest. Really think about keeping a nice neutral spine. Lengthen the leg out from the hip joint, flexing the foot. Try not to drop the leg lower than your hip height. Push the heel back, squeeze your glute max. Push the heel behind you, come into your hip extension. Point your toes, inhale, knee to chest. Good, extend the leg, flex the foot. Exhale, sweep down, squeeze, push the heel back. Point, inhale, knee to chest. Keep that nice neutral spine, bottom waist up. Extend the leg, flex the foot. Exhale, push down. I'm keeping the leg more or less at hip height, the top hip bone forwards. Inhale, knee comes to chest. Extend the leg, flex the foot, sweep back, squeeze the glute, push the heel behind you. Point, inhale, knee to chest. Good, extend, flex the foot, sweep back, push the heel back, use your power for your glute max. Point, inhale, knee to chest. Extend, flex the foot, sweep back, squeezing glute max. Point, inhale in, good, extend, flex. Push back, try to keep the leg floating at hip height, squeeze. Push the top hip forwards, try not to rotate back. Good, push back. We got 2 more, inhale in. Extend, flex the foot, push back. Point, inhale, knee to chest. Last one. Push the heel back, exhale, squeeze the glute max, drive the heel behind you, and rest the leg down to have a break. Good. Let's push ourselves up, let's change sides and repeat that here. So we're starting with clam 1. Have your hand weight close to side for your dumb waiter. Good. Laying down, starting with the legs in 45. Top hip bone forwards, top hip bone pressing down to lift the bottom waist up. Keep this elongated top waistline. Start to press your heels together and start to switch on your T-zone. Beautiful. We're going to squeeze the heels, exhale, open clam 1, top hip not rotating back, inhale to close. Squeeze, exhale to open, and inhale to close. Good, so we're really concentrating the workload onto our glute medius of the top leg. You want to check your bottom waist, your T-zone, and the glute medius activation as you squeeze your heels to open up your clam. If you find it quite hard to activate your glute medius, there are other exercises that you may choose to do. If you find it hard laying on your side, you can also lay on your back and do your glute max activation with straight legs if you prefer. Good. Let's do 3. Squeeze, exhale, open, and inhale, close. Some of you may take a short rest and repeat your clam 1. I'm going to move straight into clam kick out. So I'm keeping the bottom waist up. I'm going to squeeze and exhale, open my clam, top hip forwards. Lengthen the top leg, rotating down from the thigh. Good, I'm going to bring my heels back together, knee high. Squeeze my heels and close. Exhale, squeeze and open. Inhale, lengthen the top leg, turn it down from the thigh. Exhale, press the heels together and close the clam. Good, squeeze, exhale, open. Lengthen the top leg, rotate down. Exhale, heels together, squeeze, inhale, close. Squeeze, exhale, open. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale, heels, press them together. Inhale, close, good, squeeze, exhale, open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, heels, press them. And close, 3 more. Squeeze, exhale, open. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Final 2. Squeeze. And lengthen. Heels together. Squeeze those heels. And close. 1 more. Bottom waist does not drop down. You're keeping neutral throughout. Good. Have a little break. Now we're going to take hold of the hand weight for dumb waiter. Those external rotations from the shoulder joint itself. You want to utilize your bottom waist, so push the top hip bone down and rotate the hip bone forwards. Keep the T-zone working and accountable. Pick up your hand weight, place your elbow in your side. Now you're keeping more or less that 90-degree angle from your palm, your elbow and your shoulder. Draw the shoulder blade back and down. Squeezing the elbow into the side, we're going to exhale, externally rotate the arm at the shoulder joint and inhale to lower. Palm is facing towards the mat. Exhale and inhale. Now one side will have greater range. You want to keep the top hip bone rotated forwards and we're looking at the shoulder blade drawing back and down. Keep the head resting on the pillow. Try not to aggravate the cervical spine and this might be a smaller range than you anticipate. You're looking for the rotation of the arm bone in the shoulder socket. So if you place your hand on that top shoulder, you should be able to feel the rotation of the arm bone itself. Good. 5. Shoulder blade down and pull back. 4. Keep that bottom waist up. 3. 2. Our final 1. Exhale and inhale. Good. Place the hand weight down, have a little break. We're coming back to the glutes, we're coming back to our bicycle leg. Bottom leg stays bent at 45, the top waist elongated, the bottom waist up. We're flattening through that T-zone line, those abdominals, and we're lengthening the leg at hip height. Try to keep the leg at this height throughout your movement. Point your toes, inhale, bring your knee towards your chest, don't crumple through your spine. Extend the leg at hip height, flex the foot, drive the heel back, squeezing your glute max. Keep your top hip bone forwards as your heel travels behind you. Point, inhale, knee to chest. Extend the leg, flex the foot, keep the leg at hip height if possible. Push the heel back, exhale, squeezing the glute max, top hip bone stays forwards. Point, inhale, knee to chest. Extend, flex the foot, exhale, sweep back and down, squeezing your glute. Point, inhale, knee to chest. Don't drop your bottom waist. Extend, exhale, push back, squeeze the glute max. Good, inhale, knee to chest. Extend, flexing that foot, exhale, sweep back and down. Good, point, inhale in. Extend, exhale, sweep. 3 more, point, inhale, knee to chest. Extend, flex, point. Good. Push back, squeeze your glute. Last one, point, knee to chest, inhale, keep your neutral spine. Extend your leg, exhale, push back, squeezing your glute max. Keep your top hip forwards, drive the heel behind you, and then rest the leg down for your break. Good work. We're gonna push ourselves up. We're gonna come into seated. Oh, sorry, supine, laying on your back. You can keep your pillow if you'd like it to cushion any extra tension off of your shoulders and your neck. You're going to want your hand weights if you'd like for this series. So keep them quite close to hand, maybe one beside you on each side of your mat. Now we're going to add in a little combination of exercises to work on coordination. You can always come back to just focusing on one element of the exercises, depending on how you feel, and you could also get rid of the hand weights if you're feeling really fatigued in the upper body. We're going to start with our bent knee fallouts. So you won't need the hand weights for this one here. I want you to place your hands on your pelvis. Begin by setting yourself up in neutral. Your hip bones are level. You've got your neutral spine, that's the gap present in your lower back between you and the mat. Your knees are at that hip width position. We're switching onto the T-zone, inhaling, lifting the pelvic floor, relaxing the shoulders. Exhale, focus on those abdominals, flattening to draw the two hip bones closer together at the front of the pelvis. Now, keeping the pelvic bones level, we're going to inhale as one knee drops out to the side. We're going to exhale, draw the leg back in using your T-zone. Good, other side, inhale, one knee drops out to the side, just one knee. Keep the hip bones level, exhale, draw the leg back to center. If you find bent knee fallouts aggravate your groin, you can go into leg slide instead if you would like. You're really focused on taking the attention off of the shoulders, so draw them down. Think about lengthening the neck. The pelvic bones want to stay level. So we're really working strong with the T-zone, getting to know the activation level that we will need in this position to work in a neutral spine. Inhale, the knee drops out to the side. Exhale, draw the knee back in using T-zone. Good. Wonderful. Last one, each side. Good, last one. Good, come back to center, exhale. Lovely. At this point, you can add your hand weights if you'd like. We're going to look at our arm prep pattern, moving into circles. So you can start without the hand weights if you choose. Those of you that are using your hand weights, you can grab them here. Shoulders drawn softly away from the earlobes, setting yourself up with the T-zone connection working in neutral. From this position, I'm going to start to float my hands directly over my chest. Now I'm going to start with my palms facing away from my face. I'm going to think about the T-zone, and on the exhale, as I start to lengthen the arms overhead, I'm very cautious that I'm working with weight. So the shoulders are drawing down and the ribs are drawing towards the hip bones. I'm moving really cautiously because I don't want to aggravate or jolt my shoulder in any way. Then you're going to inhale. Sorry, I need to skim away from my couch. You're going to inhale and bring your hands back over your chest. Start with a small range. Exhale, float the arms directly overhead, drawing the shoulder blades down, ribs drawing towards the hips. Inhale, hands over chest. Now it could be that this small range is all that you have for this exercise, particularly if you're using a weight and your shoulder stability isn't its greatest. You're working with any kind of weakness through the shoulder itself. You'll need to modify, and you might want to replace the weights back down to the ground. For those of you that would like a bigger range, you can also start to move into that 180-degree arc, reaching up from the side of the hip bones, exhaling to reach overhead, and inhaling, arms coming back down to your sides. Please be really cautious with the shoulders in this position. You are utilizing weight, and so we really want to control the range, really specific to each individual on the mat. For those of you that want to make this greater, as you exhale to reach overhead, ribs are drawing in and down, you can start to sweep the arms wide, drawing them towards the hip bones at your side. So you exhale, reach overhead, shoulders drawing down, ribs towards hips. You sweep the arm wide, you can rotate the palm to face the thigh as you bring the hand weight to your side. Good, exhale to reach overhead, rotate the arm out to the side, sweep the side of your dumbbell towards the side of your thigh, squeezing your armpit shut. I've got a little bit of a blockage on this side, so I'm only showing you one arm, but equally, you could also be working singular arm at a time. The palm begins facing away from you. As you rotate out to the side, you can now rotate your palm towards the side of your thigh, and that makes the positioning a little bit more comfortable on the shoulder, and you also practice this in your warm-up. Just adding gravity now to the hand weight makes this a little bit harder. You are utilizing the exhale to draw the rib cage down towards the hip bones, shoulders from the earlobes. If you have single-sided this exercise, Make sure you alternate on the other side for a few more reps. I'm going to finish this here, my last one. Exhale, reach overhead, ribs drawing in and down. Rotate the arm towards the side of the hip bone, squeezing the armpit shut. Place the hand weights down and have a little break off the shoulders, making sure that you feel quite comfortable. Good. We're going into pelvic curl. Place your hand weights down. We'll come back to those in a minute. Bring your heels a little bit close to your buttocks. If you've got a pillow underneath your neck, you may want to remove it here. Starting in neutral, switch back onto T-zone. Take a deep breath in. Start to tilt the pelvis back, releasing the lumbar spine towards the mat first. Squeeze your glute max, push into your heels. As you exhale, lift the weight of the pelvis off. Start to roll through the lumbar spine and the mid-back onto the shoulders. Take a deep breath in here, checking the ribs are softly drawn down. You're squeezing your glutes, you have switched on your hamstrings. Good. On your next exhale, slowly bring the rib cage down. One vertebrae at a time to the mat, utilizing the glute and hamstring connection all the way to the bottom. Gently untuck the pelvis and come back to a neutral position. Good. Gently tilt the tailbone back, lumbar spine resting on the mat. Squeeze the glutes, exhale, push into the heels. Start to switch on, rolling the lumbar spine, the mid-back from the mat. At the top, check your alignment. Your ribs are drawn softly down, your back's not arched, your glutes and hammies are on. Slowly return your upper body to the mat on the exhale. Really use your glutes and your hammies. Now, for those of you that get cramp or fatigue in your hamstrings or have a really bad feeling through your knee in this position, you don't have to tuck the pelvis. You can lift the pelvis from a neutral spine position. Still utilizing the exhale, you can lift, squeezing just the glute max. This does still get hamstring activation, but it's more presented in the glutes, and you can lower back down to a neutral spine position. That might be more acceptable for you if you find that knee flexion is quite hard, or you find that tucking of your lumbar spine coming into that imprinted back position is too much on your hamstrings. Good. Whatever you're choosing to do, I'd like you to do two more. Pelvic curl is for mobility, so we're really utilizing that nice strong lift from the mat, which gets us our great glute max contraction too. Make this your last one, either a neutral lift or a tail tuck and a rolling up and down. Good. Come back to the mat. Resettle your pelvis to neutral, and if you need, you can lengthen the legs and give the hamstrings a little shake. Beautiful. So, from this position, we are going to look at our hundreds prep exercise. Hundreds prep is a flexion-based exercise, but you might keep your upper body on the mat. You might just work through reaching through the arms. I'm going to incorporate my hand weights here. Again, you don't have to. This is added intensity. I'm coming back to my feet at hip width, and I make sure that I'm in neutral. I'm switching on to the T-zone. So I'm going to begin with the hand weights directly over my chest. You might keep the hand weights more towards your side and lengthen the arms down, particularly if you're not lifting the upper body from the mat. Now this is a curling exercise, so drop the chin to the chest and lengthen the back of the neck. On an exhale, scoop out the belly, start to draw the ribs towards the hips to peel the upper body off the mat and lengthen the arms down towards your sides. Good. Inhale, we're slowly returning head and shoulders to the mat, hands directly over the chest. Good. On the exhale, draw the ribs towards the hips to scoop out the tummy and peel the upper body off, lengthen the arms. Now you have weight placed on that arm here, so make sure that the shoulder draws down, particularly as you float the head and shoulders off the mat. You really want a strong reach from armpit to fingertip. For those of you that want more, you could also add your single leg tabletop position here, coming into that lovely hundreds prep level 1.5. You could go for 4, exhale into curl and reach on one side before alternating, 4 on the additional tabletop side. You really want to make sure you're scooping out the belly, the chin is tucked to the chest, so we are really lengthening through the arms and not aggravating the cervical spine. For those of you that are in your single leg tabletop, You could also move into double leg if you feel quite comfortable. And this might be your additional 4. So you could do 4 in feet down position, level 1, 4 in single leg tabletop, 4 in the alternate tabletop, and then 4 in double leg tabletop. Really keeping the knees aligned over the hip bones, the chin lightly tucked to chest to lengthen through that cervical spine. Good, let's make this your last one. Bring your feet back to the mat one at a time. Lower the weights to your chest. Have a little break. Now, for those of you that do not want to move into the next exercise, which is called your double leg stretch, you could come back to your lift foot toe tap exercise. You could do 10 lift foot on each side. You could hold the hand weights at chest height while you do this, if you prefer. And then you move into your 10 toe taps, 10 on each side, single leg tabletop. For the next exercise, you could be in single leg, you could be in double leg. I'm going to show you the full version in double leg tabletop. From here, I'm going to switch on the T-zone and bring one leg up at a time. Again, it could be just one leg that you're working for a few reps before you alternate to the single leg tabletop on the other side. I'm going to lengthen the arms once more at chest level, shoulders draw down from the earlobes, really establish that you're holding this weight over your chest. From this position, I'm going to curl the upper body from the mat. So as I curl the ribs towards the hips to scoop out the tummy, I'm going to maintain this curl, drawing my ribs towards my hip bones. Now from this position, knees could squeeze together. I'm going to start to reach overhead into the arm prep, exhaling to draw the shoulder blade down my back. Now I'm going to sweep the arms wide towards the side of my hip bones, like you practiced in your arm prep positioning, and then lift the shoulder weight directly over the chest once more. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Sweep the arm wide, rotating the palm towards the thigh, squeezing the armpit shut. Inhale to lift. Again, I've got a little obstacle in my way. If I shuffle out to the side, I'll be able to show you with 2 arms. Exhale, lengthen, and sweep. Good, inhale. For those of you that want more, you could also extend the legs by pressing the heels together, returning to tabletop once the hand weights come to your thighs. Exhale, reach. Squeeze the armpit by drawing the weight to your side. The head could come back down if you need to minimize any stress or tension on the cervical spine, and you could still work this position. You could work just the arms, and you could add the extension of the legs. Equally, like I said, you could be doing this in single leg tabletop, and so you could alternate a few reps on each side. Really make sure that if you're utilizing the full range, that's the curl, exhale, reach overhead, draw the shoulder blade down, rib to hip. Sweep the arms wide towards the hip bone, rotating the palm to your thigh, pressing your heels together, return your knees to center. Exhale and inhale. Good, this is called your double leg stretch. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Return the upper body to the mat, bring the feet down one at a time, rest the hand weights by your side, have a rest. Beautiful work. From this position, squeeze the inner thighs, roll onto your side, push yourself up, come into seated. So we're going to finish with a lovely set of work in seated. We're going to start with spine stretch without the weights. So spine stretch is your forward fold. You're going to need straight legs for this. For those of you that find this difficult, you can place a yoga block or a pillow under your buttocks. Lifting your hips higher than your heels is going to make it a little bit easier for you to sit. Equally, you can sit yourself in a chair and reach forwards if you need. So we don't have to have particularly straight legs, but we would like to sit upright onto our sit bones. So don't round your lower back. Try and lift your rib cage over your hips. And this position is easiest to switch on the T-zone. Shoulders are down. I've got gently flexed feet. You might choose to do this too. Once you've got your pelvic floor and your T-zone connection on, float your hands over your shins. Take a nice deep breath in, dropping the chin to chest slightly, and then exhale, dive and reach the crown of your head and your fingers over your toes. Look down at your shins around your upper back. Good. Inhale, slowly start to stack the vertebrae upright, lifting through the spine. Good. We'll do that 4 more times. Float the hands, chin lightly tucked to chest. Exhale, dive and reach, scooping the abdominals, ribs drawing towards hips. Round your crown of your head, your fingers over your toes. And then inhale, slowly come upright. Good. Reach those arms, shoulders down, chin lightly tucked. Exhale, scoop, dive and reach. Good, inhale, lift that spine upright. Sit tall on your sit bones, 2 more. Exhale. And inhale. Keep your buttocks on the mat, 1 more. Exhale. You can hold this for a breath or 2 in that forward fold. Slowly return yourself upright when you're ready. And if you need, bend the knees to take pressure off of the hamstrings. Beautiful. We'll do a little bit of work in this position. We're actually going to start in a seated cross-legged position. You're going to need 1 dumbbell for this here. We're going into what we call swords. Again, place your buttocks on a block or on a pillow. You're going to start upright and you're going to switch onto the T-zone, sitting tall. Again, don't curve through the lumbar spine. Keep the ribs floating over the hip bones and a defined waist. I'm in cross-legged. You may choose V-sit if you'd like. Now I'm going to place 1 dumbbell in my hand and place it onto the opposite hip bone. This shoulder wants to lengthen down and you want to keep it from lifting up. Keeping the shoulders level. Place the opposite hand on the mat to keep you steady, or place the hand into the side of your knee. For your swords, it's more or less as if you were doing a wood chopping motion. Some of you may have done that at the gym. So keeping yourself upright, on an exhale, we're going to rotate the palm outwards, drawing the elbow into the side, hence why we practice our dumbwaiter. And then we're going to lengthen the arm up at a diagonal angle. To return our sword to its case, we're going to draw the elbow into the side, rotate the palm back towards the hip bone, shoulders down. Exhale and lengthen. Good. Inhale, elbow to the side. The palm can be quite close to the shoulder at this point before you rotate back, palm to the hip. Exhale and inhale. Check in with your shoulders. Look at how level I'm trying to keep my shoulder girdle. And I'm really working on lats, yes, chest, yes, and obliques. So a really strong movement pattern that really incorporates the torso as 1 whole unit. Now, as you get comfortable with this pattern, you might choose to add a small amount of rotation. You'll start by looking down at your weight. Now, your head and eye line will follow your hand weight and your sword. So you'll notice I start with a small rotation towards my palm on the mat. As I reach my sword out to the side, I'm looking the eye line onto the dumbbell, shoulder down. As I return, that inwards rotation of the torso occurs, but I'm really working hard to keep the shoulder drawn down. So swords can also be done with an exercise band and is traditionally a reformer exercise. Let's do 2 more. Just stick with the initial sword, keeping the chest facing forwards, or incorporate that small amount of rotation, trying to keep the sit bones on the mat. Let's change sides. So remember, sit upright. Placing the hand weight just on the crease of my thigh where my hip bone is, shoulders down and level. I'm able to see myself in the monitor, but you might want to do this in front of a mirror. Hand on the side or on the knee if you need for balance. Just start by rotating elbow into the waist, the palm lifting to shoulder height, and then extending the arm. It might mean that you maintain a soft bend in the elbow and you don't fully extend the arm. You want to bring the elbow back to your side and rotate the palm back to place the sword into its cover, which is at that hip crease. Elbow to waist, shoulder blade down, extend. Good, elbow to side and replace. Good, so swords is one of my favorite reformer-based exercises. It teaches a lot about stability. So you want to be looking at a level shoulder girdle, a level pelvis. You want to be utilizing the weight. You don't want the weight to topple you over. So here, where this external rotation occurs, I'm utilizing the dumbwaiter exercise. And that extension isn't compromised. I'm not straining through my shoulder or my neck. At the rotation, look down towards the mat. As you come into that external rotation, your eye line wants to follow your sword, which is your dumbbell. I'm trying to keep my shoulders level at all times, drawn down from the earlobes. Let's do 3. Always thinking about keeping the body safe, so not straining through the shoulder. Last one. Good, have a little break. So you should feel like your armpit muscle is quite fatigued and your lats are getting a good workout. This is what this class is all about. Beautiful. From this position, we're going to go into a half roll back. If half roll back is not for you, come back down onto the mat. You can go through your lift and extend. You can come back to your pelvic curl. You can even do your glute max squeezes with straight legs. 10 double and 10 isolated on each side if you don't want to work into this position. I'm going to utilize my hand weights for additional intensity, but you can come back to just normal half roll back. Now I'm in a bent knee position to begin with, and if you'd like, start the first few reps without the hand weights. Sit upright, lift the ribs over the hips. Make sure the feet are on the mat. You want to switch onto your T-zone in this position, shoulders drawn down. You want a light tug of chin to chest so you're not straining your neck. And you begin the move on the exhale, letting the tailbone round underneath your pelvis, releasing the lumbar spine curve towards the mat. Now, as we scoop the belly and release the ribs to the hips in front, we're gently rolling back into a half roll back position. Look at how my shoulders have lengthened down. There's no straining through my neck. I take my breath in to hold this position. And then pressing my heels down, I'm going to scoop my belly, round my forehead to my knees, and then lift myself upright. Try that again without the weights if you choose. Exhale, tilt and round back and down. Scooping the belly, ribs to hips. Hold for your breath in. Your hands can always come to your thighs as you exhale to roll your forehead to your knees and come up rounded. Lift yourself upright, come back to that nice tall neutral spine before you continue. Those of you that would like to add your hand weights, and it's at this point you might just use one hand weight if you choose. One hand weight could be placed between your hands, and you could utilize an outstretched arm position. I'm going to show you with 2 dumbbells because I'm a sadist. But again, it's quite difficult to keep that upper body connection and stabilize through your abdominals, so don't strain your back. From this position, heels pressing down, you're using weights, you need to stabilize. I'm going to tuck the tailbone round, back and down, scoop out through the belly. Look at how the shoulders are lengthening down. My arm reach is soft with a bent elbow. Scooping out the tummy on your next exhale, I'm going to dive my forehead forwards, reach my hand weights towards my heels to come up rounded, and then inhale, lift tall. So as you go through your half roll back, I tend to straighten out my legs. I don't like the bent knee position, and so naturally, I start to lengthen the legs out as I get comfortable. I'm holding for a breath in still and scooping the abdominals, rounding the upper body over my knees to come on up. For those of you that are not comfortable with half roll back, just stick with utilizing no weights and focusing on that lovely rounding of the back, releasing one vertebrae at a time to the mat. For those of you that are quite comfortable in this round back position, you can start to come into a deep half roll back. You're working with weight, so don't strain your back. Try to utilize the key signs from your body that it's fatiguing. Your shoulders are getting really sore, you need to get rid of the weights. My back is sore, I need to get rid of the weights. I'm finding it hard to keep my belly flattening and scooping, I need to get rid of the weights, okay? For those of you that are using the weights, by all means, this could be your time to progress. If you're finding that all is well and you want one last progression, I can give you that lovely arm prep in this position. It's quite a strong exercise. You need to be strong with your T-zone connection half roll back, pressing the heels down. We come into half roll back. It's a mild one. It's not very deep. I rotate my palms down. Now, keeping my ribs drawn to hips, I'm just gently lifting the weights to eye line. It's not a full arm prep. And then I lower. I'm keeping the half roll back, shoulders down, chin lightly tucked to chest. exhale, and inhale. You could go for 3. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale, scoop the belly round towards the knees with the forehead, hands towards the heels, and lift. That could be your next progression, utilizing that nice frontal raise. For those of you that are not comfortable with that, but would like that progression, you could also come into half roll back, rotate the palms up, elbows to the waist for your bicep curls. You need to make sure you're pressing your heels down and you're utilizing elbows into waist. And again, after a few reps, you could return in that rounded back position and lift. It's up to you the progression that you take. You could just be at half roll back without the hand weights. We're going to do 2 rounds of whatever progression you like. I'll do one of each to show you. Sitting upright in your half roll back, switched on. Floating the arms. If you're using the hand weights are in your hands. We're going to draw the shoulders down and exhale, tuck the tailbone, rounding back and down, scooping out the belly, ribs to hips. I'm going for the frontal raise, press the heels down. Exhale, float the arms in line with the eye line. Shoulders down, inhale, lower hands. Exhale and inhale. I'm going to go for 2 more. Exhale and inhale. I'm going for my last one. I'm going to lower my hands, inhale. Exhale, scoop the belly round the forehead to the knees, reaching hands towards the heels. Then I'm going to lift myself upright. I'll show you my bicep curl version now too. Lifted, T-zone on. Exhale, tuck the tailbone and round back and down. Turning the palms upright now, elbows to the waist. Keeping that tuck of chin to chest. I'm going to bicep curl and lower inhale. Exhale, palms towards my cheeks. Inhale. Keeping my rounded back position. It's quite hard for me with this one. I naturally want to curl forwards, but I'm keeping my ribs to my hips, my flattening belly. 1 more. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, round the forehead to the knees. Reach forwards, place the hand weights down. Take a deep breath in and round the back upright 1 last time. Good work. Let's turn into 4-point kneeling and let's finish with a little stretch. So I'm actually going to do thread the needle. I'm going to stay facing you in 4-point kneeling box. You want to come back to hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Shoulders lengthen down. So for your thread the needle, you may want to stand upright and do a standing pec stretch. You can do that if you choose as well. I'm going to start by reaching the arm out to the side. Now I'm going to turn my eye line to look at the thumb. My T-zone is going to prevent my hips from moving. I want to push the arm back and I come into a small amount of protraction of the shoulder. I'm going to sweep the arm underneath you, following with the eye line, reaching underneath my opposite arm and drawing my shoulder blade and ear towards the mat. Good, undo this, take the arm out to the side. Push the arm back, exhale. Inhale, sweep the hand underneath you. As you exhale, draw the shoulder blade, the ear towards the mat, coming into that nice posterior shoulder stretch. Inhale, arm out to the side. Exhale, push it back. Sweep it under. Inhale and exhale through. 1 more on this side, arm out to the side. Push the arm back, exhale. Inhale, sweep it under. Exhale, reach it through. Draw the shoulder, the elbow to the mat. Good. Keep the ear drawing down. Hold and breathe for 3 long deep breaths in and out. Good. Think about that lovely stretch that you're getting after all your hard work. Slowly untuck the arm. Place the hand down. Let's take it to the other side. Remember, the arm is out to the side. You want to look at your hand and push it back first. T-zones on to stop the hips rotating. Thread the arm through. You can bend your supporting arm to draw your elbow, your shoulder, your ear to the mat. Take the arm out to the side and continue for 4 more. For those of you that want to do a standing chest stretch, bring yourself to a door frame or the edge of a wall. I'm going to utilize my pole. I'm placing my arm at a 90-degree angle on the edge of my wall, my pole, my door frame, whatever I need. I've got split stance, 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back. Now I'm going to lunge my weight forwards. I'm going to place my hand on my rib cage and gently rotate away from the chest, the arm that I'm stretching. And I can have a really nice pec chest stretch here if I want as an alternate for that. Make sure you do each side, holding that lovely stretch, shoulder down, for 5 to 10 breaths. For those of you that are still in your thread the needle, let's make this our last one. Holding this last rotation under for a couple of breaths, drawing the ear, the shoulder to the mat, and getting that lovely posterior deltoid stretch. Beautiful. From this position, thread the arm, come back to the mat. A little cat stretch to finish. Some of you may choose to finish your class here. In your 4-point kneeling box with your T-zone on, take a lovely deep breath in. Now imagine you're scooping out the belly. Start to round the upper back, letting the chin tuck to chest. You're going to send the shoulder blades wide as you push them up towards the ceiling. Allow this to transfer down your lower back and tuck your tailbone. Good, you're in your angry cat. You're going to inhale and slowly come back to your neutral 4-point kneeling box, your neutral spine. Again, exhale, start to scoop the belly, rounding through the upper back. Light tuck of chin to chest, send your shoulder blades apart, push the shoulders towards the ceiling, allowing this to transfer down the lumbar spine, tucking the tailbone. Inhale to undo. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale. And inhaling. Our final one. Exhale. And inhale. Beautiful. You can pull your buttocks back towards your heels, walk your fingertips forwards, and rest your forehead down to get a nice strong lat stretch. You want this stretch to start underneath the armpit, so keep extending, reaching those arms, and keep the T-zone working, pulling the buttocks back towards your heels. If you'd like, you can have this lovely active prayer stretch, the active component being your reaching arms, or you can soften at the elbows and drag your hands back to rest by your sides and just rest in this rounded shell back position. Whatever you do, have a little focus of spending some time in a stretch and finish your class with a really strong mindfulness of releasing tension through the body. Congratulations, well done. I know that was quite hard and tough. If you enjoyed this programming so far, make sure you send me some feedback. You can email me, and if you've got any suggestions, you can tell me what you would like for the next foreseeable few weeks. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.